everybody. Welcome back to Ghosting with Anya. I'm your host, Anya Smith, also the author of Anya's Ghost Stories Volume 1 and Volume 2, The Return of the Dead. So, I have my husband here with me. So,
hello.
Today's episode we are doing we are on season 5 now because we are reading 7 long paragraphs with 10 questions. So today when Chris got back, we were going straight to the Hummel Park. Yes, it is haunted. So I was gonna go live stream but on TikTok, but the weather had other plans, so
Instead, we wound up at Zesto's with amazing ice cream. I had chili fries. She had a delicious burger,
including curly fries and a slushie. That's exactly what I had. So anyway, my husband is gonna be with me the whole episodes all through season, especially with maybe on season 6 because I work from home now. So I just want to say thank you guys for following me here on TikTok. Well, actually here on YouTube, but I said TikTok, but the internet was kind of fucked up when I went live. So it's going to be an hour long, like 1 hour or 2, depends. So I've got my tea to drink, which is right here, which is good for my blood sugars. It helps to keep it from spiking it. On today's episode is called The Woman in the Hallway. That's the new one. I hope you guys like it. So, but yeah, the weather had other plans. It is so haunted because bad things started happening at the Hummel Park. Everyone has gone missing in that park, never were seen again. So 400 years ago in the past, when Mary Sibley, I think, when she was still alive, I think she literally cursed someone, I don't know, her new husband or whatever in the past, and somehow something happened to him. Frogs literally started, I don't know, come out of his throat, servicing up. He literally got cursed just because what he did to her. And so she got her revenge. So, and then everyone who lived in the 1600s also anyway, back in the 1600s, I think everyone got accused of being a witchcraft thing, but there was I don't know, Mary Sibley and her minions. I think her friend who got accused of being a witch, her name was Bridget Bishop. She was not a witch, okay? She didn't do anything. So, but she got accused because she did something horrible, even though she never did anything. Everyone got accused. A grown-up male, female, including little children. They all got accused, and they actually got executed at the Hummel Park, and ever since then their spirits were seen at night, or maybe during the day. Ever since then, that day, back in the 1600s, late 1600s to early 1700s. So I went there I don't know, the first time with my friends, I think, and I caught a glimpse of a spirit of a woman. Don't know her name, but I think she was dressed in white or something. And she really looked at me. It's like somehow my powers got activated. Well, literally. Anyway, I took pictures and videos about that, but I don't have it with me right now. But they're probably somewhere in my Google Photos. Maybe I might upload it, but you know, well, I'll probably put them on TikTok if I choose to. So, on today's episode, we are doing The Woman in the Hallway. So, this video can be long if you guys wish to stay with us longer. Now is the time to leave me a comment down below, right here on YouTube. So, anyway, I hope you guys are ready because I'm ready. My husband is ready. We went for a walk while we were at the park, but the weather literally decided to mess with us, trying to stop us from exploring the entire campsite or something. The park. I mean, everyone literally had a lot of problems. So people died there, especially that young girl who died in like 20 years ago. I think it was like 2005. We went there last year. Chris and I went there last year, and we got the evidence saying some young girl was murdered, raped and murdered. But I'm not gonna talk about it right now because we already did that a year ago. So, um, anyway, let's get started on season 5, Ghosting with Anya. So, just get something to drink, get something to eat, sit back and relax under the covers. Please click like, share, and subscribe. And let's get started on this episode, on the story. So, listen very carefully. I'm not gonna talk really fast, but I hope you guys are ready for this story because it's really fun and creepy at the same time. So I hope you guys like it. Um, so yeah, please click like, share, and subscribe. So have a wonderful night and let's get started. The Woman in the Hallway, episode 115. Anya had been staying in an older apartment complex for only a few months when she first noticed the woman in the hallway. At first, she assumed the woman was just another tenant who liked to stand outside her door late at night every evening. That's a little weird because I remember there was one guy who lived in this building that I just moved in like 2 years ago. And, well, it was a old man. Like, he's white and he was like, what, in his 70s or 80s?
Maybe like 60s, but yeah.
So he lived on the third floor in our side of the building. Um, he passed away, and nobody came to find him. Nobody literally noticed anything. So they just did whatever they got to do, like ignored it until the smell started coming in. The corpse was like decaying or something like that. And he was a nice man. I never had a chance to meet him, get to know him. So one night that Chris and I were like literally getting ready or something to relax or whatever, I was working on my project, and the next I saw the old man right there in that corner in our living room window. As soon as Chris sat down, we both saw something, and he was not a creepy guy, but he was like checking in on us and see what's up. He probably watched me several times, I guess. But
Probably.
he was probably thought maybe he would want to check up on me, see what am I doing.
True.
But yeah, but now he's in heaven, so I hope he is resting in peace. So let's continue on this story. Around the same time, Anya would hear the soft creak of the floorboards just beyond the peephole. When she looked out, she always saw the same thing: a tall woman in a pale nightgown with dark hair hanging down over part of her face. The woman never knocked, never moved, and never seemed to acknowledge that she had been seen. She simply stood there beneath the weak, yellow hallway light, as if she were waiting for someone to let her in. The strange part was that whenever Anya opened the door, the hallway would be empty. That is so creepy. It felt like maybe this part would have gotten me so creeped up. So, I've never had this problem. I mean, when I lived at Kearney Manor, I've always felt like I was being watched. So, anyway, I always felt like I was being watched, but somehow, well, when my mom called me, the cops also told me, when they called me, to tell me that I was being watched by some creepy neighbor. And it freaked me out. So, yeah, we got the bottom of it. It was our neighbor in apartment 80 back at Kearney Manor apartments that I lived in for like a couple of years, because one morning I was getting ready for work because I was in a hurry. So it was so weird. I always felt like I was being watched. It's like I'm not truly alone. But things happened all the time. So anyway, let's continue on the story. It's kind of a long story, so that's why we've got 7 long paragraphs of this story and 10 questions. At first, Anya tried to reason through it in a practical way. She told herself the woman was probably stepping into one of the neighboring apartments before she could open the door. She even asked the couple across the hall if they had seen anyone lingering outside late at night, but they looked confused and told her no one ever came around after dark. The husband laughed and said people in that building mostly kept to themselves. For a few nights, Anya stopped checking the peephole altogether because she didn't want to feed her own imagination. Still, the sounds continued, always soft, always deliberate, and always stopping the second she got near the door. Eventually, curiosity got the better of her, and she began waiting for the sound instead of ignoring it. Still kind of creepy, guys. If you guys think this is creepy, I think it might be. but exciting at the same time. So, um, have you guys ever had this kind of experience? I mean, it happened to me when I was sleeping one night and my TV literally started like opening or turning on by itself. I'm like, what is happening? So, but yeah, I never had that problem ever since. But I had a friend that I used to work with. He came to my apartment and said that he's been seeing paranormal stuff all his life since the day he was born. He said he died as a baby, came back, and ended up seeing ghosts. He told me that he saw something in our TV, even though my TV, um, that he saw the Virgin Mary appearing on my TV, even though my TV was off. So, like, okay, I've never had this problem before until in 2017, I end up having these powers, like an empath, something like that. This is how it all started, I guess. But apparently everything worked out fine. So, anyway, let's continue on this. One rainy Thursday night, the sound came earlier than usual. Instead of the familiar creak of a person shifting weight from one foot to the other, this time it sounded like a fingernail dragging slowly across the wood of her door. The sound was so faint that she almost thought it was inside her head. But then it came again, longer this time, with a slow scrape that ended right at the level of the doorknob. Anya moved carefully toward the door and was standing much closer than before, so close that only part of her face and one shoulder could be seen through a fisheye lens. What I see of her skin looked gray, almost waterlogged, like something that had been left out in the cold too long. Then, without warning, the woman lifted her head and stared directly into the peephole. That's even creepier. Any thoughts, anybody? I hope you guys are listening very carefully. I'm not trying to talk that fast. So I hope you guys love this, but I hope you are, listening very carefully about this.
Yes.
So, you guys love this, but okay, let's continue on this story. I hope you are, listening very carefully about this.
Yes.
Anya stumbled backward so hard that she hit the wall. Behind her, she waited for a knock, a voice, anything that would explain what she had just seen, but the hallway went completely silent. After a few minutes, she forced herself back to the door and opened it quickly, expecting at least to hear retreating footsteps. The hallway was empty, but the old carpet directly outside her door was wet, as if someone had been standing there dripping rainwater. She looked both ways down the corridor and saw no one. Her neighbor's doors were shut. The stairwell was dark, and the elevator at the end of the hall was still sitting on another floor, yet the wet outline outside her door remained shaped almost exactly like a pair of bare feet. This is creepy. Um, yes, Christopher. Cheese puffs.
Yes.
Exactly.
They sound delicious.
I know, right? The next morning, Anya went downstairs to speak with the property manager. She described the woman as calmly as she could, expecting to be told that one of the tenants had mental health issues or some strange sleepwalking habit. Instead, the manager's face changed the moment Anya mentioned the pale nightgown. He became quiet and asked her which floor she lived on. When she answered, she swallowed hard and told her there had once been a tenant years earlier who had died after locking herself out during a storm. According to the story, she had wandered the hallway in wet clothes, knocking slowly at random doors, but no one had opened up because everyone assumed someone else would. By the time she was found the next morning near the stairwell, she had frozen to death. The manager finished the story by saying people in the building liked to exaggerate things, but his hands were shaking when he said it. That night, Anya tried to stay awake and prove to herself that nothing was going to happen. She made tea, turned on every light in the apartment, and kept the television running low in the background just to avoid total silence. Around midnight, the hallway sound returned. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes my weird talking gets a little messed up. So let's continue. But this time it was not just one set of creaks. It sounded like someone pacing slowly past her door, then stopping, then pacing again. When she looked through the peephole, the woman was not there. Instead, she saw the hallway stretching out, empty in both directions, except for a faint shimmer of water on the floor. Then, from directly behind her, came three soft knocks from the inside of her apartment door. Anya froze where she stood because no one was supposed to be in there with her. It's so weird. I hope you guys getting chills. Even me reading the story is giving me chills. Even though like my back is hurting right now from like bending so much. So but yeah, so let's continue on this story. It's almost time for the questions. Anyway, she never looked through the peephole the same way again. After that, over the following week, the sounds kept coming, but they changed in subtle ways, growing bolder, closer, more certain. Sometimes she heard breathing on the other side of the door, When she walked by other times, she noticed wet footprints leading away from her entryway and disappearing at the edge of her living room rug. On the seventh night, she heard a woman's voice whisper from the hallway, soft and cracked, asking only one question: "Why didn't you open?" Anya moved out 2 weeks later, but she still avoids looking through peepholes in old buildings. She says there are some faces the eye remembers even after the body leaves. Wow, this is the longest story I have ever done tonight. So, anyway, we are going through the questions. Let me ask you guys who are watching this question right now of this story. I mean, those of you who are watching this story, this video right now, what do you guys think about this story? Does it give you any creepy vibes, anything? Because does it give you any chills? Sometimes it gives me any chills. What do you think?
It can give some chills, yes.
Because when I read the story, every night now, it's like a portal that's being, summoned or whatever. It's a portal to the spirit world. So be very careful, guys, when you do this. If you want to do this podcast, I encourage you, but try not to summon anything that can be related to the spirit stuff, because it can be a little insane, crazy, weird shit, but let the professionals take over. So anyway, let's go with the questions. We've got 10 questions for you tonight. So let's get started. Would you have opened the door the first night you saw the woman? No. Why would I want to open the door that I don't know if I could trust someone that I don't really know? So my answer is no. I'm not going to open the door for anyone that I do not know, do not trust. Would you?
Probably not, although if it's a ghost, it can just come straight through the door.
Exactly. I mean, a spirit doesn't have an actual physical body. So, no, my answer is no. The spirit can just walk through, literally. Like a year ago, when Chris and I saw the spirit in our living room around the corner of the window, he could have just walked in, but he didn't want to impose and didn't want to scare us, so he stayed away. But it would have been nice to see him and meet him, but I would want to investigate it, but I would not want to trust anything of any ghosties. But what if there might be demonic? So my answer is never going to happen. So that's why. But let's go to number 2. Why do you think the woman only appeared when Anya looked through the peephole? Perhaps maybe this woman thought that she was her daughter or an old friend. Perhaps maybe the woman thinks that let's say it's me, but what if I lived in an old building apartment, and guess what, Chris and I live in the old apartment building. It kind of sucks now because I thought it would be safe, but it's not. That's why we're moving out. So let's say I live at the old, creepy, weird building apartments, like any number of the floor, either first, second, or third, or maybe 10th floor. Let's say if I did, and this woman would try to contact me, trying to get me to help her find her way, but I don't really know who she is. But I would maybe, I don't know if I would say yes or no, but if she's really that desperate, I might. But if I don't know what she's really doing, maybe she might be in disguise or something like that. If she's something demonic, I would probably not open the door. I would not let her go through. And if I want to see through people, no, I would literally just stay away from all that shit. So, let's go to number 3. What do you make of the wet footprints outside the apartment? Perhaps maybe this woman froze to death or like drowned somewhere. No wonder why.
Maybe she just took a shower in another unit.
Yeah, something like that. Well, she doesn't know she's dead because she got locked out of her apartment somehow, forgot her keys. No wonder why. So spirits pretty much are confused and they don't know that they're dead. So if they like go back to the beginning, how it happened, where it happened, that would be the best part. They would need to go back to the beginning and get some answers and find out how they died and where they died. How can us, the living, help them move on into their afterlife? Like, literally, this woman probably doesn't know she's dead. She thinks she's alive, but she's actually dead. Her body's been buried somewhere, but still doesn't know what's going on. But yes, things happen, but you never know. I would probably trust my own instincts. My husband here probably will trust his instinct, that sort of thing. Isn't that right, honey?
Yes.
Right. So let's go to number 4, because, well, we have like quite a few questions left before I sign off. Either this might be a long video or it could be maybe short. It depends. Okay. Do you think the property manager knew more than he admitted? I think so. I think the property manager knows what he's talking about, and we have a property manager that knows that our neighbor had died, but she didn't do anything about it. She just moved on, didn't give a shit. So she's being selfish, crazy, and she just didn't give a crap about it. So that's just how our property manager is. I'm not gonna tell you her name, so but yeah. But this in this story, this property manager somehow knew about the woman that passed away, didn't know what's going on, maybe thought make a little visit to Anya's apartment. Well, it's my name on it, but you know. But I think the manager already knew, but he just couldn't deal with it. So he was too scared to talk about it. But, you know, he didn't want to be fired, so he had to figure out a way to block that memory, you know.
Yes.
What do you think about this?
They probably just didn't want to lower their property value, so they just decided to be quiet.
Because they're scared. No wonder why.
Yes.
just like our property manager from this building.
Yes.
It's like she's scared, even though she knew what happened to our neighbor from the third floor
Yes.
before that creepy psycho guy that moved in.
No, he's been here a while in a different unit.
Actually, he lives right above us on the third floor.
Nope. 1-bedroom unit across.
The psycho?
Yep.
Well, the manager probably doesn't give a fuck, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's go to number 5. Because we have like 5 questions left. So, why do ghost stories often involve repetition at the same time each night? That's a good question. It's part of the the reason why I do ghost stories every night, it's like a portal to the spirit world, just to get the blood going, through the flesh of other people. It's part of my job, so I love it. Anyway, I hope you guys like this story because it gives all the blood boils through your skin. Just gives you all the chills, all the vibes. Even though you're scared, but you gotta be brave enough. So, each night, yeah, I like doing this every night at home because it's a part of my job. And I love it. So, whatever happens in my apartment stays at my apartment. Doesn't matter where I do my live stream podcasting of this ghost story job. I can do it every night because it's the only way to get more viewers, and I'm just trying to support my husband, myself, and our little baby, the kitty. I'm just trying to, help him make money, so just to provide for my family. This is why I like doing podcasting. It's what I do. All right. What would have scared you more, seeing the woman or hearing knocking from inside the apartment? It probably maybe hearing the knocking and maybe seeing something in the inside of the apartment. It could be both. I'm thinking both. What do you think about this?
Could be both.
My husband agrees. So it could scare me, like the knocking and seeing something. I would probably investigate it if I want to. So, yeah, I think it's both. Would you guys agree on this? Leave me a comment down below right here on YouTube. Just literally let me know what you think about this. If you have any opinions, let me know right here on YouTube. I would be happy to give you the best answers, but some just never comes up. Like literally, I'm doing this job because I'm trying to help my husband, bring extra cash or whatever. But this is just part of my job, and I love it. It makes me happy. This is what I want to do forever until I'm, I don't know, old and have no memories of it. So this is why. Let's go to number 7. We have about 3 questions left before I sign off. Something like that. Do you think the spirit was angry, sad, or just trapped? My guess is that it's all of it. She could be angry because she died. She's just sad and trapped, but I think it's all of that. My guess would be all the above, everything. Um, if I were a ghost, I would be very angry for what happened to me. I would get my revenge on the person who took my life, took everything from me, like my house, my money, everything, my job, of course. I would literally get my revenge. I would try to communicate with my husband, and he would probably get my revenge.
Yep.
He would literally avenge my death. So I think it's all the above. She is trapped and she has no idea what's happening. This is the reason why she still lingers in the apartment building where she lived, where she died, because she clearly can't find someone that can help her move on into the afterlife. This is why. All right, let's go to number 8. We're almost done. If someone had opened the door for her years ago, do you think the haunting would have ended? Yes, I think so too. If I seen a ghost at my door because she's sad and angry or something, trapped, would she want me to open the door? I probably would have done that a long time ago, and she would be very happy if she ended her haunting. I mean, literally. If it happened to me, I would probably want to know what's going on, and I would literally I would literally try to figure out who this person was when he or she passed away. So we're almost done, so we have 2 questions before I sign off. I thought this podcast video would end about an hour, but apparently it's less than an hour. So let's go to number 9. Have you ever stayed somewhere that felt wrong, even when nothing obvious was happening? Not really, no. If I wanted to go to Stanley Hotel, maybe I would want to, but I actually lived with my mom for years, so we've never had any paranormal experience until in 2017. That's when it all started. She could not handle it. That's why we sold the house and moved here. So if I ever want to go somewhere that can be very creepy and wrong and obvious and felt like paranormal activity has been activated, crazy, every weird thing that's been happening, yeah, I probably would maybe want to stay. But if I ever did, I would have my husband with me constantly.
Yes.
He's overprotective, so that's why.
Mm-hmm.
But if I want to stay alone, no, I don't think so. All right, last question before I sign off. What would you have done after hearing the whisper? Why didn't you open? Well, if I would have done something, maybe I would have trusted my instincts. I actually would have. So, I literally would have wrapped my own little weird shit around. Well, I would have have a process that, and maybe have some investigation going on. I would literally search through what is going on with this building. I would have opened the door if I had trusting issues, but I would have done something. Would you have done something like that?
Probably.
Would you investigate anything like this?
I would probably want to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I agree with my husband. That's all the time we have for you guys tonight, and I just want to say thank you for listening to this story. Thank you for tuning in. This is the longest video I have ever done. Usually I've done maybe around 30 something minutes, but tonight was a little bit longer. Usually I do about an hour, but apparently it's not an hour. It's actually about 40 something minutes. So tomorrow's episode we are doing 116th episode. It's called The Second Voice on the Tape. I hope you guys like this video, and I just want to say thank you for being very supportive, and also for listening. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below, right here on YouTube. Just want to say thank you and have a wonderful night. Please click like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you all tomorrow night, maybe 7 o'clock or 8, because it's already 8:12 p.m. Yeah, it's about 8 o'clock. So we've been, what, an hour? Almost an hour?
Yep, 43 minutes.
It's about 43 minutes. That's how long we've been in this video. So have a wonderful night, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Ghosting with Anya on YouTube. Please click like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you all tomorrow night. Bye.